All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Bros. We are live back from Vegas from the second annual Hood Summit, and we have a lot to talk about. Tanner, Roy, how you doing?
Good. It's good to be back. Fun event, but there's no place like home. And man, exciting time at the summit. There's been just so much Robinhood stuff. Probably that's going to be the focus today. But boy, what a time to be alive!
Probably going to
Tanner,
be the
how are you?
focus, eh?
Probably. There we go.
Yeah. I'm wearing my repping my BM&R merch.
That's right. ETH.
Is that actually BM and Armor? No, that's not.
No, not BM&R, but it's Ethereum.
Oh, gotcha. All right, so we got a lot to talk about. We came back from Vegas a couple of days ago, and I think there's a lot to break down in terms of this Hood Summit. I know we've each kind of given our own thoughts about it, but it'll be good to do it together on this podcast. And we saw a lot of you guys there. So if you were there, you can say hello in the chat. Got to meet a bunch of guys, take a bunch of pictures, which was super awesome. And again, it's just been an incredible community that's formed over the past couple of years, led by the execution of Robinhood and that company doing so well. And so it was great to see everyone in person and have some fun. So before we get into all the nitty gritty stuff, in general, Roy, how's your experience like in Vegas itself?
Amazing. Just, if you get invited, and they do invite just regular retail folks that, use your Robinhood from time to time. If you're able to in your schedule, you take them up on it. It's a fun time. Next year, Vlad talked about 2,000 instead of 1,000. Last year, for context, it was 500 in Miami. There's a ton of fun stuff to do, but I skipped out on most of that. I no fun. I had a ton of fun, but most of it was just like shooting the breeze with these guys and some other guys as well, meeting a bunch of you guys, listening to a couple of of course, the keynote and a number of the other speeches as well. The first night right after, there was, and I know a few people have written up on this and stuff, but it was in the F1 racing center. There's all sorts of memorabilia and history and lots of stuff to eat and drink, and a lot of games too. Like they had go-karts, which I didn't even do. They gave away, which this is fake. CME gave away 3 10-ounce bars of actual gold, and I know somebody. We all met him beforehand. Shout out to you, Nate. But he was one of the winners of the 10-ounce gold bar. So yeah, it just all that saying, it's an amazing experience. It's really fun. But the best part is that you get to really, if you're an investor, get that firsthand feel of their culture, their vibe. And I think that's an important part of investing. And even if you're not invested in Robinhood, if you're using the platform, you get a first look and hands-on on the products, and you get to ask questions. And this company, and there's a lot of companies too that do this, but maybe Robinhood does it just about as good as anybody. They actually listen. And you saw that live, but that's really how they are. What their customers want, what they're asking for, what they want to be improved. You don't have to be in a MIT to ask and get an answer, but it does help. There may or may not be an emit mode coming.
That
we'll talk about that. We'll go deeper into that. Tanner, general, your Vegas experience.
Yeah, I mean, super great. It's not like Roy said, 95% of the people there were just Robinhood users. Not even all of them were investors. It was just users of the product. And being around a group of like-minded folk that are like-minded in terms of investing, actually, the broad range of different styles of investing was actually quite interesting. So there were a ton of different people there. And because of the short selling aspect, there were some short selling experts that were up on stage to talk about this. So, we were able to talk to some people that play the markets very differently than we would. In fact, I got to listen to a few people say how, SoFi is one of the great shorts that they are going to play into the future after rate cuts and everything. So I got to listen to that jargon. But it was just great. You hear all different types of points of view. Not all of them do you agree with, but you respect the due diligence that goes into it. So that I found, the most exciting part. I didn't even get to speak with Vlad or see him really other than passing by in a hallway to shake his hand. That was it. But now Robinhood is, and this is what I love about Robinhood, very much the like Tesla point where it's not just Elon. It's the leaders of each department that make up that company, right? So it's the chief of options, the chief of staff, all these people that make up the different points of Robinhood, and they were really keen to share where they think the company is going. But
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys had a similar experience, but that I found really good to hear this time.
Yeah, and we'll get into that as well. I mean, I think in general, they were very transparent. Like, just like anyone, whether it's a high-level executive or a product manager, they just wanted to talk to any user and wanted to hear very harsh criticism. So I was very excited to engage with all of them as well.
This is you've been to other Robinhood events. This is your first summit. So what did you think?
I thought it was great. I thought the energy was electric. I mean, it felt like a party, bro. Filled with new products and people. I mean, like, first of all, the amount of people I met that are full-time traders was crazy. Like, I was like, you do this full-time? Like, yeah, I quit my job 3 years ago. Like, that was incredible. Then met a ton of people that own Hood stock. And then met a ton of people that just love the product so much. And because they know the product's going to make their life better, they were so excited to see. It's kind of like Steve Jobs when he introduced the iPhone. Like, everyone was so excited because they're like, wow, this could change everything. Every time they have an event like this and they introduce some amazing products, like, people, at least in the investing world, like, this could change. Like Cortex, I think that could change everything for investors when it comes to financial research. So I just think there's a lot of hype and excitement backed by products from a company that's just not going to stop executing. And so, yeah, it was definitely very exciting. Tanner, go ahead.
A lot of people made a lot of money on Hood, and a lot of them were shareholders. But if you could name one other stock that you would say a lot of people had to talk about and said that they were very interested in, what would you say? I would say that almost everyone that we talked to brought up a second stock that they were really interested in.
Yeah, it was PayPal. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you remember, Amit?
SoFi, bro. Of course.
No. Come on.
BMNR.
The real answer.
It's BMNR. Yeah.
I thought that was so interesting.
It was. Yeah. Yeah, and there was a number of people that were in our circle, but even outside of that too, that we were talking to, and they were picking brains and talking to other people as well, that walked away from that summit and said, you know what, I need to buy too. So it's a cult, which we're a part of.
Agreed. Before we get into all the topics, let's just deal with this real quick because I know people are asking. Vlad cashed out today for almost $500 million, $403 million. I will give my quick reaction to this, and then you guys can give your take and we can move on. He deserves it. I mean, the guy was in his Stanford dorm room with this idea. Now it's a $100 billion company. He's created $100 billion worth of wealth. He deserves to take some profits. So 3.5 million shares. The stock really didn't even flinch on him selling, which just shows how much liquidity there is. I don't read too much into it because he sold at 20, he sold at 30. I mean, he has 50 million shares, right? So he's going to constantly sell in tranches. Now I think he has like 45 million shares left, something like that. So I could care less, dude. And he deserves the profits. And this is what a capitalist society creates. If you have 50 million shares of a company, you are allowed to, especially if you've created a ton of shareholder value, to eventually sell those shares into the public markets if someone's willing to pay a higher price for them. And all of us will do that eventually. All of us have done that on stocks over the past couple of years, right? So it's the nature of capitalism.
Yeah.
D Sharp said Vlad is selling, so we can buy.
I did buy 50 shares today, so I might have bought 50 of his shares.
But yeah, I mean, this is not his only company. He could be doing other sort of venture products or projects, or who knows. There's so many different reasons to sell. There's only one reason to buy. We can talk about who might be buying stock later on, but of a different stock. But yeah, I mean, this event was really freaking exciting. I thought you brought up Cortex really, like, that's going to be a key product for Robinhood, a big differentiator. And they also announced a new event in December, I think, for Sarun to show off, I guess, even more products for gold members. Like, I don't know how that's going to work, but they're moving very quickly.
Yeah.
Like
Roy,
they
any
just showed
quick
off
thoughts?
another interesting product just today that wasn't even included in the Hood Summit. Like they just don't stop.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that as well. Roy, any quick thoughts on the insider sale? Then we'll move on.
Yeah, I mean, it's many reasons to sell, one reason to buy. Of course, he has another startup as well, Harmonic. So could need the funds for that or any number of things as well. Could be buying Canada at this point, honestly, whose market cap or GDP is actually under NVIDIA's market cap. So who knows?
Okay, there you go. All right, so the actual products. There was a lot of stuff announced. I think we'll start off with the first tranche of announcements, which were a bunch of these basically like little sub features on Legend. And this is it right here. So you have multiple accounts, which is live already. Futures ladders working simultaneously on mobile and desktop. Shorting, that's a big one. Overnight index options, 24 hours. Options simulated returns on Legend. And then futures on Legend. Tanner, your reaction to these kind of 6 core products introduced on Legend?
Well, I mean, they're not all just for Legend, right? Like futures on Legend. Well, I mean, they all did roll out, but multiple accounts is something across Robinhood people are going to love. Shorting. Like, I think that these were great product announcements. It's something that everyone's been asking for, and they're just trying to give their consumers what they've been asking for. They even did a live poll to say, hey, what do you guys want? You know, more advanced option types, or sorry, order types, or dividend tracker, and these sort of things. And the surprising part was that the dividend tracker actually won, meaning that there's still a lot of just, you know, more conservative, less risky investors that just want quality of life changes because they still use Robinhood, right? So it's not all just degen plays for you know, prediction markets and extreme zero DTE options. It's also just regular investors that potentially have retirement accounts that want better views into the accounts. So there'll be tons of changes like that. But I think the most important one that's probably going to bring over more money for Robinhood is the multiple accounts.
Roy,
Yeah.
your thoughts?
So on top of that, I agree, Tanner, completely. What you guys saw was real as far as like them actually yelling out. It wasn't like plants in the audience that were yelling out certain things. They wanted feedback. They wrote down a bunch of things. The voting, that was real. That wasn't rigged. And then the little bit, not related so much to this, but where they had the programming thing, which I'm sure we'll talk about with Cortex. That was also real, and they didn't know how many of these things would necessarily turn out. So love the way that they presented it. It was exciting. But the other thing I'll say is a lot of companies will ship these out, and then they'll just call it a day and say, all right, that's the event. Thanks for coming. That would have been a little light even for most companies, for Robinhood especially so. But they had this whole feel of, but wait, there's more. And I love that. And it's just... it's amazing. This company has the ability to ship at scale and speed with excellence that is almost unfathomable. So just kudos to the Robinhood team.
So yeah, I agree. My favorite out of all this was multiple accounts. I want to come out with like a YouTube portfolio soon. And I was thinking before this product, I would have to take some money out of Robinhood and put it into some other platform to like stream it live because I didn't want to do it on my actual personal Robinhood. But now I don't have to. Now it's just one button away to switch. So for me as a streamer, that's like a game changer. And then for shorting, I'm not a big person who shorts companies, but I think a lot of people that want to go short companies have always wanted to do it on Hood. And that should be a pretty big feature for a lot of other people.
Yeah, and like there's some very dynamic traders that want to bet bullish or bearish on different, you know, events. So not only has there been extremely bullish cults that have been created, whether that's around Robinhood or SoFi or Palantir or Tesla or what have you, but I think that those create potential for people to play the opposite side of that sentiment. Like if something's getting overhyped, potentially you want to play the other side of that. You could go to another brokerage, and maybe a lot of people are still at those brokerages because they have shorting, but now those people who, like Chris Patel, for example, who have multiple accounts at different brokerages and have not consolidated under Robinhood, because they don't have all those features. Multiple accounts was one that he really wanted, and shorting was another one. So Chris seemed like a happy camper after this video, or after the the presentation.
Definitely.
What do you think Chris is going to short first, Amit?
He actually doesn't go short, but
he seemed pretty happy that it was there. I mean,
but he won't actually do it, dude. Chris is not a guy who go. He'll buy a ton of puts, maybe put spreads, but I don't know if he would go short.
Well, and he's pretty bullish on Robinhood now. He'd like to get in. He just wants a dip, which, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so Cortex, this was the next big thing. Here's some of the content that they announced with their new AI features on Legend.
Stocks, ETFs, crypto, and futures. And best of all, you can fully navigate it with Robinhood Cortex. Okay, let's do a quick demo. So sticking with the theme of my trading strategy, let's look for stocks that are breaking out. You'll see a new widget in the widget menu called Scanner. I'm going to go ahead and add that to my layout. And on most platforms, if you wanted to look for stocks that were breaking out, you'd probably have to spend several minutes digging through a bunch of filters, figuring out what map to breakouts, and setting the parameters exactly right so you could get stocks that were breaking out. On Legend, I can just ask Cortex. So I'm going to open up our new Cortex mode for the scanner. It looks a little bit like the one you saw for indicators. And I'm going to say, find me stocks that are breaking out above a recent high. And I'm also going to say no penny stocks, high liquidity only. I typically only trade large caps, medium and large caps, not really small caps. Okay, so Cortex just pulled in stocks that are breaking out, and let's take a look at them on the chart. Ultimate moment of truth. All right, and I'm going to change this to a 5-minute because a breakout strategy is more of an intraday one. All right, let's look at Clover Health. Okay. So we see a nice breakout here that happened earlier today. Very cool.
So the point of this product is if you can use natural language to screen thousands of public companies to get exactly the types of indicators that you're looking for just by typing them in, I really do think it's a game changer for those that are investing or trading heavily, or for stock research. Because, and if they incorporate all the historical data of like the PEs and all that stuff, and then they can really make it even more robust, I think that's going to be, I think that was the most exciting product that they announced. So Tanner, your thoughts on Cortex?
Yeah, I think the PE stuff, like they said they had 300 filters. That stuff's going to be very easy for them to incorporate. I thought, you know what, if this is just, hey, show me all the companies that are growing, north of 30% and have a PE of this or something like, I don't care about that. I can build that in a scanner today. I thought the interesting part was the demonstration of, hey, show me CEOs that deadlift, right? And it pulled from an article that was written about CEOs with, certain levels of fitness or whatever. Now, I don't think I'm going to invest from, that perspective, but maybe I can say, hey, show me all the crazy, the not so level-headed CEOs, the Larry Ellisons, the Alex Karps, the Elon, the very eccentric, outspoken CEOs. Maybe that will end up finding an article or some sort of ETF that I hadn't explored before and show me all the CEOs, because there's actually something around that where, potentially those companies are outperforming. So I like those types of indicators that I wouldn't be able to build on a regular scanner. I think that this is going to be super interesting for that. So that last piece that Vlad just snuck in there, I actually thought was the most exciting.
Roy, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Natural language programming, as long as they control for hallucinations, which I'm sure that they're very well aware of. They seem very adept as a team. Then this is a great tool. And what's cool is, like, this is not the first that we saw Cortex. If it was, I'd be like, wow, this is great. We already saw some at the banking event as well, Robinhood Gold in San Francisco. And so this is them continuing to innovate. My favorite part, though, is them having an AI day. I mean, it's Cortex. So in essence, like what they're showing off here, they're like, you know what? Let's just put something out there, like no big deal. We're going to save the really juicy stuff for AI day. Now, they didn't say that, but that's my assumption. They don't have events where they're just like, hey, we improved this UI and we changed this little feature here. So I absolutely love that they're innovating this. You know, they're talking about moving their entire business on blockchain, on the Robinhood chain, implementing AI. They're not just talking about AI, like they're doing it. It's right there. And we get to play with it. Like you don't have to be a millionaire or know how to program or have all that. You play with it, see what works for you. It's awesome.
Yeah, for those asking when do we get these features, they said early 26, so probably January of next year. But they have an AI event, as Tanner mentioned, in December. So, I mean, we're probably going to get even more updates to Cortex. I really do think Cortex, which is gold exclusive. I mean, Tanner, I know you said you can build a screener to find certain stocks and this, but like the ability to just do it in your own platform and type it in, that to me, I don't see anything like that exists.
No,
at all on the market. And that to me is the exciting. Like if I could just like sometimes I want to see stocks with a peg ratio under 1.5 that are, you know, like, and like these like obscure metrics that have high options volatility going into the week of December 5th, like just like random stuff I could imagine every day coming up with like 7 to 10 different queries. And I think that would genuinely help my research, and a lot of traders do their research. So I think it's a game changer.
Yeah, no, I'm not anti that. I'm just saying the part that's, you know, really groundbreaking. I think the scanning part, just being able to type in is great, especially building your own indicators. I thought was amazing because I'm not a big TA guy, but if I can ask it to say, hey, you know what, if I was a TA beginner, what would be some of the first indicators that I would look at? And can you apply this to the stocks that I'm actively looking at in my watch list? And then you tell me what you see. Is this good or bad? Explain this to me. You know, so and that's the great thing about LLMs. It's natural language. So you're not just looking at numbers and charts. It's telling you what the chart is saying. So I think this will be great and could lead people to higher conviction plays and, you know, better researched on the stocks that they actually own. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Cortex. I think that this will be a very catchy product for gold subscribers or turning people to gold.
Okay, so let's get into their last announcement, which was the most controversial one. Robinhood is introducing a social network, which will allow you to discuss and follow trades, verify customer trades, verify daily P&Ls, follow public trades of insiders, funds, and politicians. Essentially, a social market or a social feed intertwined with the stock market. Roy, what was your reaction to this?
I thought it was really cool that they did this. That said, you know, I'm on X quite a bit, and I like FinX a lot. The only thing I really don't like about it is the bots. This does a couple of things that X doesn't do. One is verified accounts and actually verified trades only, which is really good. I also like that you can post it on here and also share it to other platforms as well, which I think is really good. And I think that's kind of actually the exciting opportunity. Now, there are others that have done something similar. Some even talked about it on X. Some SoFi people reminded me that SoFi has this, but it's a bit different in a number of aspects. And I think the user interface is better. Level of detail is actually better. But where I think that this actually has a significant opportunity, I'm not sure on the equity side, options and all that crypto, is a predictions market specifically. Predictions market is absolutely heating up. It's something that Robinhood has not advertised at all. And what this is, because you can do predictions market on it, and people love to brag and boast about what they did in the, you know, sports betting, especially. I think even more so, or maybe as much as with stocks. And so what I foresee happening is people are like, hey, there's not, from what I've seen, I'm not a gambler or anything, unless you can options, a great platform for both betting, making predictions, and then showing what you actually did, showing the trades, putting the reason there. And this, I think, might be that best in class. Now, one step further is because people can share right from here onto X or onto Instagram or onto whatever, so many people are not aware that this even exists as a product on Robinhood. So they will see these screenshots and they'll be like, dude, where did you get that from? Or where did you do that from? And they find out, okay, Robinhood shows lifetime scoring. You can predict and bet on a whole bunch of stuff. You can close out whenever you want. And it costs just you're not betting against a house. It just costs 2 cents each way, one for Robinhood, one for Kalshi. I think that this is going to be a driver of the predictions market, and I think that that's where I'm particularly excited.
Yeah, I like the product. From some of the reports that I was reading, it was kind of set up to be the key announcement that they had. I don't like thinking of it that way. I think it's a great addition, but not something that I think will be ground changing or change the thesis. If it wasn't able to be, embedded on other platforms, I literally think it would be useless. I think the main aspect here is to say, hey, you know what? This is what I think is really interesting. Here's my thesis, and here's my actual trade, almost like a blue check mark. You can click through to verify it. If you don't want to click, that's fine. But someone will be in the chat to click through, and if it's fake, it'll get community noted or something, because then it can actually be verified. But I don't know if you guys agree. I don't want my feed to be 100% stocks. I mean, I want it to be general news as well. There was pretty crazy event that ended up happening while we were at the Hood Summit. If we were all just on Robinhood Social, how do you find out about these crazy events that happen in life? They said that you can't post anything unless it's attached to a ticker. So I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of things that are shared along with a stock or a trade or something like this. So overall, I think it's cool. I think the fact that you can verify trades, that's the exciting part, the blue check mark. I just don't know how many people are going to spend less time on X or something like this to be on Robinhood. But additive, it's nice.
And real quick, I'll just add one little point there too. Like, we're creators on X, that's monetized. Like, I don't make a lot on X, but it's like $50 to $75, sometimes $100 each pay period. It's like, that's nice. There's no real incentive for me to do that on Robinhood. As a Canadian,
once again, we are missing out. That's true. And that's what I felt the whole entire time. Whenever I watched all these announcements, I was just like, it sucks. I'm not going to be a part of this. Hopefully it changes soon.
Yeah.
But
I agree with you guys. I think it's a guinea pig by sharing the trades on X to get people on Robinhood. So I think it's a good idea. In terms of a standalone social network for this to work, I think the barriers right now that I see are there's not an open text box, which means you can't just tweet hey, breaking news, blah, blah, blah. You can't type any of that stuff. You have to post a trade. So that's the first barrier. And maybe they open that up in the future, but that does get rid of a lot of the toxicity of social media, because you can't just tweet random things or post random things. So I think that is one part that's important. And number two is just how many people actually want to show every single trade they do, right? Especially if you're not actively trading. So for me, I buy some of the same stocks every single week. I sell options on some of the same stocks every single week. There's not really new ideas. And I think the whole point of social media is to get a little bit new analysis, all this stuff. So if I'm just hey, I'm buying more shares of Hood, is that really interesting content to pop up on your feed? Unless I'm doing this, 3-week call option on Hood and everyone's following my trade to see if it goes up or down. But I'm not that type of trader. So then it begs the question, how many of those active traders are out there that are doing those moves consistently? And I think there's actually a decent amount of them. The question is, will they do it on Hood? And I think the community might force them to do it on Hood for verification, so that it's instead of these stupid screenshots, they actually see the real thing. Which, I mean, I post screenshots of all my gains and sometimes losses all the time. I could easily just show the Robinhood feature of, hey, this is how much I made on my SoFi debit spreads, this is how much I lost on my PayPal debit spreads or whatever, and just link it to X so it's fully verified. The question then becomes, can it become this monetizable social network, or is it a guinea pig to just get people to keep using the platform and make it sticky? And I think right now I see it as sticky, not really a revenue driver, but if it explodes and it has 20 million users, I mean, it could be one of the most important social networks in finance.
Yeah, it really seemed like a half-baked product right now. And it's not coming out for a little bit, but even some of the things like you can't just share your portfolio, it's individual trades. Can Amit come on there and talk about Microsoft or, Rocket Lab or something like this, or does it have to be stuff that he owns? And are you only allowed to talk about Palantir and Hood and Grab and these names that you're really well associated with, or have to own shares in order to share opinions on them? Can you just talk about an individual stock and the news about that? So it didn't seem like a lot of that was flushed out. We were talking to somebody that just has an absolute fortune in their account, and they share their trades and everything, but they don't share dollar amounts. And there's no way to just show that the trade is verified and it's a percentage of their portfolio, but no dollar amount is shared. They said, hey, you know what? The transparency, we want to show the dollar amount. And we were talking to this person and they said, I don't want to do that. Like, I've got, people that I don't want to know that I've got this size of portfolio. So
well, that's the other thing. I think in the age of transparency, we also have to think about like safety. And you don't kind of want your net worth being known, especially if you have a very high net worth, because people are crazy. So the idea of posting these trades as transparently, I mean, now granted, you can make the argument people already do it on Reddit and X. So like what's stopping them from posting it on Robinhood, which is a good point. But there are definitely some people that just, they're legit. They're not scammers. They just don't want people to know exactly how much money they have.
Well,
yeah, as long as Robinhood says a percentage of their portfolio and guarantees that trade happened on the account, I would love that.
Yeah.
That's conviction enough for me. You put 100% of something in your portfolio. I don't care if you've got 10 grand or, 10 million, like to you, that is your full portfolio. So
one of those features that they had that I thought stacked well with this, and I Evan said in the comments, we don't know what their goals are. They'll continue building. There may be something that we don't see yet that's announced. It's like, oh, there's something else going on here. We'll see. But multiple accounts, just because if you want to, for myself, I'm very private about the amount in my account, not because it's so much or so little. It's just there's people that know me in real life, and I'm not a whale, but I might, create a separate account, just like, hey, this is a public account, $10,000, and then mirror one of my 3 accounts that I have on Robinhood, or do something different. I don't know, but it's a nice, like a lot of these products stack very much with each other. So we have to take that into account too. But yeah, if this was a keynote, like I thought for me, it was Cortex, honestly. So.
Okay. So here's the question for the this is the title that I put for the stream. Here's my question to you guys. By the way, Tanner and I did share a bathroom. I just want everyone to know. So we shared more than a bathroom.
Comment I was reading. Which was half the comments. It was either, hey man, thanks for putting me on SoFi, like the Robinhood DD, or I also don't want people coming near my bathroom. And that was like 50% of people that I met. So
great. Okay, after this event, yes or no? And I need your immediate reaction. And then if you want to change your answer, that's fine. But both of you at the same time. I'm going to do a question, 3, 2, 1. Okay. You guys in the chat too, type yes or no in the chat. All right. Here's the question, and 3, 2, 1, answer. After this event, do you believe that Robinhood can become a $1 trillion company? 3.
Timeline.
Yes.
Why are you so complicated, Tanner, bro?
Yes.
God damn.
Timeline.
Yes.
Timeline. What's the timeline? Like, goodness gracious, bro.
You got a lot of nerve talking shit to me whenever you're behind this camera now. You were talking real nice to me in person.
Goodness, bro, it's like 3, 2, 1. Just give an answer. Like timeline.
Yes.
Whoa, is it timeline. E squared for 6? Like
so
whenever.
You said no. That's interesting. So what do you think, Amit?
I said yes.
I say hell. Okay, so we all 3 said yes.
My bad.
Yeah,
like even without the timeline, he said yes. So
yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. You're first. Why yes, Tanner? Why do you think in some alternate timeline, Robinhood will be $1 trillion?
Well, I mean, the easiest answer is inflation. Like a lot of companies will be $1 trillion companies in the future. The biggest company back in the year 2000 was not even $1 trillion. It was $500 billion. Even less than that, other than Cisco. So that's number one. Number two, they're taking market share. Most people are going online. Internet penetration and international expansion is happening. Options markets, crypto, all these things that Robinhood's doing very well is becoming very popular for retail. And I think that, gone are the days of mutual funds and stuff like this that people pay 3% rates for whenever they can go to Robinhood strategies and pay at most 0.25%. If you have even more, the rate goes down because the rest is free after, I don't know what the number is, 100,000, 500,000, I don't remember. But, that's the really interesting part. I just think that the new players will absolutely take market share. And, I think their average consumer assets under custody is like under 10,000 right now. The bigger players are 30x that. Can Robinhood 30x their average user earnings? Of course. Are they going to get into institutional trading? Of course. Like, the world's their oyster, and we're sitting behind a very young, very hungry entrepreneur.
Right.
So they updated this slide, and another one in the investor presentation from last year or late last year. This right here, proportion of individuals' assets invested in stocks, bonds, and funds. We're an aberration. We just are. And as you look at, if we say 10, 15 years, as far as the timeline, let's say 15 years, where else will they have expanded? What else will they have launched by that time? Like, this is not a company where it's like, let's freeze everything that we do, keep it all exactly the same, and then slowly march out to these other countries. No, they're launching things consistently that expand their TAM. They launch with excellence. They launch with speed. They launch with scale. Here's another one: share of U.S. households with stock holdings. We see what happened in the United States. This isn't all because of Robinhood, but Robinhood does have a share in this. And especially as they roll out more things that make it easy for newer investors to get started, like there's just a lot of upside. Now, the other factor too is they're not Visa. Like, Visa is a very different company in what they do, but I think they're going to be like Visa as far as significance in the world economy in maybe 10 or 15 years. I think that they, if they're not, they'll be among the largest brokerages at that point. But I think that most people at that point see Robinhood as more than just a brokerage. Visa's market cap, I believe, is around 700 million. It varies, day to day. With inflation, like, it's easy to see that at $1 trillion. In 10 or 15 years, we'll have 30, 40, maybe 50 companies in the world that are at that 1 trillion mark. So I don't think it's a crazy thing to say, in 10 or 15 years, may even be sooner than we expect. We're in a bull market. If that persists all the way to 2029, 2030, I mean, it could happen in 5 years. That'd be a little scary, probably undeserved, but I mean, that's my largest position, so I'm not going to be too sad.
Someone called me Dr. Strange for calculating all the timelines. I got called. I'm not timeline Tanner. I'm not bathroom boy.
Can we make timeline a thing, bro? Can we?
Yeah, no, bro. I'm not timeline Tanner. I'm not bathroom boy. I'm not always late. I was on time to things.
Bro,
okay.
Timeline is a thing now.
No, you just.
Next time you say something, everyone should ask him, well, what's the timeline, Tanner?
Yeah.
Timeline?
I always give a timeline.
What timeline is this?
I think Robinhood's going to $1 trillion. This event simply showed me one thing. Vlad is ruthless. He is an animal. He is a monster. He will not quit until he wins. And winning to him means multiple new products inside of multiple new verticals every year. Like, they're going after everything. Like, Robinhood strategies, prediction markets. I mean, there's just banking's coming up. We're not even talking about banking because that was, that's like news from 4 months ago. Like, it's just over and over and over again. I think to get to $1 trillion, you have to have the speed and product velocity that a Meta, Google, and Amazon have. And you have to be a macro tailwind that has to benefit you. And I think Robinhood is 3. Crypto, tokenization, that gets them to not literally gets them to $1 trillion, but I think that expands their TAM so dramatically that it can help them get there. AI, obviously, and we're seeing the beginnings of it with Cortex. And then 3 is the wealth transfer, which is trillions of dollars that is not going to all go to Robinhood, but who knows if they become the dominant platform, maybe a significant percentage of that does go. So you've got 3 macro tailwinds, and you've got a founder that is entering his prime. I don't think it's crazy to say Vlad could be one of the greatest founders of all time. And Robinhood could be democratizing financial services for hundreds of millions of people because they're expanding globally. We're not even talking about Singapore. That's happening at the end of the year. So it's like, to me, every single tailwind is in the direction that is positive for Hood. If we get a bear market, it falls. If we get a bear market and it falls, this is a buy the dip. So yeah, I think they're going to $1 trillion. I don't know when, I don't know what timeline, but I think it will happen.
And you keep
Only
buying.
Tanner knows the timeline.
Yeah, dude. Some of your audience so too late Tanner, toilet Tanner, timeline Tanner. This is ridiculous.
This is great.
No, it was hilarious that first day. You were late to everything, Tanner. So.
Even the whole airport situation, and then they didn't have a card for like the passes. They just didn't have one for me because I think I'm not a Robinhood user, so they just didn't have one. So they had to create that. So everyone was stuck waiting for me. So it's not even me, guys. Like, I think everyone's fucking with me. I don't know why.
Dude, I'm not bullying. First of all, I'm not a bully. Okay, you see this guy in person? This guy is a bully in person. Okay.
I was trying to bully him a little bit. He was talking about doing debate through high school. I was like, man, I got to shove him a little bit. Like, but no, I like it. I think these names are funny. I got tough skin. I'm bringing it on a little bit. I enjoy it.
Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for Hood. Is there anything we didn't talk about?
Monthly
overall,
metrics.
Oh yeah, August. So
That's great. That feels so long ago.
It does.
It is nonstop with news for these guys. So August metrics I thought were pretty good. I mean, 300 billion AUC, 34 billion cash sweep, net deposits under 5 billion. Funded customers, they lost 10,000 month over month. That's because they got rid of a bunch of accounts that weren't active. Equities basically second to all-time high. Options all-time high. Crypto is lower month over month, but up 154% year over year. Margin all-time high. Anything that stood out to you, Roy, on these metrics?
I mean, like initially before I read, why the funded customers, and then I'm like, oh, they lost 180,000 through a statement. It's a process that's mandated at each state level. A lot at 3 years, a lot at 5 years. So it's like, yeah, I mean that'll happen. It's a shame. I wish we could resurrect those, and some of the products have, but yeah, no alarms. Really good, solid numbers. Keep it going.
Yeah. The escheatment rule was an important piece that people need to understand there. We did not lose customers. In fact, if you actually see that we lost 10,000, but had to write off 180,000 extremely low balance customers that were not using the platform, we essentially gained 170,000 that month,
Which
right?
is good.
Because that's what made it only -10. So that's on pace for them. That's looking great. But yeah, I had no problems with these metrics. But the thing that I'm blown away by is like Q3 has got like 2 weeks left. Like, it's just insane. We're flying right now.
Yeah,
But
agree. I thought the metrics were solid. There was no red flags here. And I mean, as long as September is halfway decent, like we're going to get over $1 billion again this quarter. And I think that's going to be very exciting. Ventures, yes. So new product announced this morning, Robinhood Ventures. It is a new subsidiary underneath Robinhood's overall markets business. And essentially, Robinhood will be IPOing a ticker called RVI, Robinhood Ventures Fund 1. And they're going to fill it up with a bunch of stakes in private companies that retail doesn't have access to, and people will publicly be able to trade it in the stock market. Tanner, your reaction to this?
I don't know if it's worth it for them to do this, or if it's better to do what SoFi did and let other companies manage it, and just simply, refer those customers out. I saw some critiques about it being a closed fund and stuff. I don't think any of those are valid. Like, it kind of has to be a closed fund. That's how they're actively doing private equity. They can't continuously find new equity. I mean, maybe they can, but then they can always either put on a new round or something like this. But I think it'll see popularity, but I hope that they also include other funds that are from other institutions so that you can have a wider selection. If that makes sense. If they want to manage it all, I mean, that's fine. But like, I don't know if I want to see them get into the ETF route. It's usually not that profitable for the amount of users that they have.
Roy, your thoughts?
Yeah, there's a lot unknown. We don't know the fee structure. Looks like maybe quarterly cash outs, but some of the funds is like you can only cash out 5 of your position each quarter. So we'll have to see. But it's interesting. They're doing it themselves, it sounds like if I'm reading correctly, it's going to be pretty concentrated. So I'd heard 5. Maybe 5 different positions would be considered, which is a lot more concentrated than would be typical for this. Now, the other thing is they have Robinhood Ventures, I think 1, the Roman numeral 1, which indicates that obviously if this takes off, does well, has traction, there's room for 2, 3, 4, 5, so forth. So, but yeah, it's a good solid thing.
Yeah. I like it better than what SoFi is doing, only because I think if Vlad has control over the startups in the fund, it won't be like a junk fund. So SoFi is like a platform that offers the third-party vendors. I kind of trust, hopefully, that Vlad or someone close to him is figuring out, hey, we don't need that company because it's way too overvalued in their Series F, and like let's just like go make those strategic decisions. Whereas Kathy, I don't really love her ARK fund. It's kind of, there's some junk in it. So I don't know. I hope it's like concentrated, best of best assets that retail can't get, but also strong enough for them to get tons of management fees, which is how they're going to monetize it if they get billions of dollars into the fund.
Will Harmonic be one of those 5?
I think probably eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably avoid that for now.
Hopefully, yeah. That would not be. I don't think lawyers would be happy there.
You know what?
Like Vlad just being like, let's just put Harmonic in there. Let's tokenize it. Like,
yeah.
Maybe I'm selective, but I don't want a basket of private companies. I want to pick my names. Yeah. And so SoFi's done a couple rounds where they've picked these companies that just are doing essentially ETFs, but buying one company. So they've done that with SpaceX. They've done that with OpenAI. Like, I'd prefer much more to just buy those individual names than to go and buy a basket of private equity. And I think that over the next 24 to 36 months, you're going to see a lot of companies start to either tokenize, get part of these funds, go public or whatever. And they are, and I'm not saying Robinhood's going to do this. I'm not saying SoFi is going to do this, but they are going to need some exit liquidity for these AI names that are propped up on a lot of hype and a lot of funding, but yet are just cash burning, essentially research funds. They're not going to be doing a whole lot. We saw it in the .com bubble, and I'm telling you, well, this is just my own speculation. If there is an equity bubble forming, it's in these extremely small cash burning names. Those are the problems, not the Googles, not the Microsofts, not the Metas. It's the tiny unicorn, private names that will want to find their way to public markets.
I would hope they don't get included in these types of funds, at least by Robinhood. Yeah. Because if they do, then it's a shitty fund, right? So I would hope they include Stripe and Anduril, not some random hyped up AI name.
Yeah. But it won't seem like it's the next hyped up. Well, it will be the next big thing. It's going to feel like the next big thing. It's not like they're going to be that obvious to be, some dumb startup. They're going to make you feel like this is the next big thing. Just, sifting through the OpenAIs and Anthropics and separating it from, well, I'm not going to name any names, but yeah.
And my guess for those first 5 names are going to be names that the retail knows and recognizes, because they won't gain traction if they do, a bunch of things that retail has never heard of. So, Anthropic, OpenAI, SpaceX, Stripe, many others as well. Good candidates. We'll have to see.
Guys, Schwab and Fidelity have their own versions of like the S&P 500, right?
I would assume so.
And SoFi does to an extent as well, right?
Yeah,
they do.
I feel like this is the preview of Robinhood doing that, because they don't have their own like growth tech ETF or dividend ETF, and that's a massive business to take a small expense ratio, and they already have all the users that like trust Robinhood. I mean, maybe this is a preview of that.
Quick, maybe, yeah. I mean, they're
shout out
kind of
to-
already doing that with strategies too. You know, with it's different, it's personalized, and maybe that's the route that they do go. You know, leveraged with Cortex if they can do a high degree of personalization, which would be really good. But yeah, this might be in the next step in that direction.
You said SoFi has a fund. So this is SFY. It tries to copy the SPY, but they don't always tie in the same weighting. So they're more heavily weighted towards tech. And so SoFi's top 500 ETF is outperforming and has been outperforming the S&P 500.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, like by a wide shot too. Like we're talking about the same companies here, but it's a difference of 60% versus 70% or 76% in this timeline that I have. But you can zoom in like whatever. I'm not being selective. It stays above. Anyway, so hopefully Robinhood can do something similar.
All right. So last topic for today. Hopefully we got through all of the Robinhood stuff that mattered. And I think all of us are aligned that this really is a company that's going to go to $1 trillion one day. Last topic is Elon Musk bought $1 billion of Tesla on September 12th. Tesla's up $100 billion in market cap today. Tanner, I've seen some of your tweets. What do you think's going on with Tesla right now?
Well, I think in the most recent pump, it was literally Elon purchasing shares. So, and then the market reacting to those going public today. But the days before that, I ended up seeing those massive green candles is literally him just purchasing. Aside from that, I mean, there is some exciting plays for Tesla. I'm going to be like, Amit has a Tesla. Roy has 2 Teslas. My next car is going to be a Tesla. The person that we were with the entire weekend, we were getting driven around in a Tesla the whole time. I mean, Teslas are all around. But in my tweet, it just highlighted the fact that I think that there's obviously every stock that I'm purchasing, I'm excited about the future of. Okay. I'm not buying for today. I'm fully aware people are buying Tesla for tomorrow. However, that's priced into a stock that you're paying 30x for, 50x. Paying for 250x something, I want to see some real indication of future growth. And people are pointing to Robotaxi, but I'm not seeing any real numbers on, okay, what percentage of the market? How many drives is this going to do? Is this a $100 billion market or is this a $900 billion market? And everyone goes, oh, but the pay package. That's it. I'm sorry, but that's just a pay package. That doesn't guarantee any level of execution. Fully aware that Elon is a superstar and will most likely do amazing. But I want to be able to find good entry on that. And I'm not going to sell NVIDIA to buy Tesla. I mean, you're selling a golden egg to buy a golden egg. Like I've got a winner. So what do I trim to buy Tesla at these levels? I can't find that right now. I do want entry. I do want Tesla. But this hype right now on, a pay package, I want to see actual sales volumes. I want to see, the Cybertruck or Cybervan or whatever they're working on actually get real reception from the markets and him to prove that he's not involving himself in politics anymore, because he's even said he's not going to, and then we see more tweets. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Roy?
I think the insider buy is probably more bullish even than the pay package. Pay package it's a pay package. Like it's great if they hit it for shareholders and for the company. But I heard an interesting bit of speculation. So insider buys are always bullish, no matter how you slice it. But perhaps Elon bought that just to sway the vote towards that $1 trillion pay package. I don't know. Maybe there's some merit there. But I still think that him buying and showing that confidence in the business as well, and that size is pretty bullish. But I'm just keeping my position the way it is. It's very small.
For real?
I agree with you, Tanner.
Can you pull up Raj's comment? This is 99% of every comment I see from Tesla now is trust me, bro. Okay. Like I'm seeing a decline in market share for EVs, which like That's one thing that no one's talking about is like everyone goes, oh, robotaxi, this is going to be huge. Tesla's going to own 100% market share. Optimus is going to be huge. It's going to own 100% market share. Tesla, even at their prime, never had 100% of the EV market. And yet people are not ascribing any level of competition at all. So I just want realistic assumptions. And whenever I was a shareholder, people act like I wasn't a shareholder for Tesla between 2018 to 2025. Like I was a huge shareholder. It was my second biggest position. I've followed Elon for a long time, way before the Model 3 was even announced. So people are coming on here like after I've sold the shares, you're buying your first telling me what I'm doing wrong here. I've been following the guy for a long time. I just don't see as realistic as assumptions as what we've seen previously. That I'm not seeing real numbers. I'm not seeing people actually saying, okay, well, this is what $1 per mile is going to be. This is the percentage of the overall ride sharing market that we think that it can eat up, aside from ARC doing this. And ARC's and Elon saying ARC has the most accurate numbers out of anyone on the market and is putting a $900 billion a year business attached to it. In 2021, she said the robotaxi market was going to be doing like 200 billion by 2026. Can anyone raise their hand and say Tesla's going to do $200 billion in revenue of robotaxi next year?
So there's no timeline for it to happen?
2026 is the timeline.
Bro, why are you such a hater?
I'm not a hater. I want shares. I think for real, I think Elon Musk is the greatest entrepreneur we've ever seen in our lifetime. Okay? But there's a price to be paid for everything. So I think that he has more equity tied to SpaceX, to XAI, and all of these things. And I think that his time is still going to be spent more on those types of businesses. I don't know. This is like the fourth time where we've seen a message go, hey, you know what? He's going back to work now. And then he's going to start the America Party. Like is no one seeing the pattern here?
You're right.
I don't know.
You're right. I agree with you.
Look, I agree. The numbers don't make sense for Tesla. I do think buying $1 billion is bullish. I think $1 trillion pay package is bullish. And I think Elon on All In last week saying that the government's unfixable is bullish because it means he's like done with the America Party stuff.
Yeah.
And so if the S&P gets to 7,000, I think Tesla's going to participate. And maybe Elon is underplaying how quick he thinks the S-curve's going to ramp for Optimus and FSD. Now, he did say don't expect anything until basically Q4 26, but maybe it happens in Q3, and maybe that's pulled forward. And I mean, there's just a bunch of different tailwinds that make it hard to bet against Elon, but I can understand people picking NVIDIA over Tesla or Google.
Yeah, and that's all. It's not even like if I could pick Tesla or cash, I would pick Tesla every time.
Yeah.
But there are great investments that are trading very cheaply, and I prefer to hold those companies because I know, or at least have higher conviction, that they're also going to work. And people are like, oh, you must have missed out. It's like, no, my trade's still working. I'm still in the green. Like me selling Tesla and buying NVIDIA has worked out. I'm always testy, but honestly, I love your audience so much. Like these guys are so fun. I'm talking about like why.
Dude, it's your audience too.
People are saying
it's the same
what?
audience. It's the same audience. It's not just
no, I
mine.
know, but they're all like, I think that they don't see that I see your chat. So they're like, oh, he voted for Trudeau and shit like that. Like, I'm just saying it's a high valuation and that's it. Great company, but I would buy it at like
Why do you hate America?
If it was trading at like 90 times, I'd be like, yeah, I mean, we're paying for growth. Like,
yeah,
you know, 250. Come on,
dude.
It's a $1 trillion business.
These Tanner names, Trudeau Tanner. There you go. I mean,
but
Trudeau guy. It trained us this way. No, I didn't train you guys. You just ended up doing this stuff on me without me.
What?
Like finding a funny name. I guess I did train them technically. because I've done so many quirky things that they come up with a name for it. And now if a guest on the channel does a quirky, dude, when Devin Ryan came on the channel, they were calling him.
I saw all the Tucker
They
Carlson
were calling him
stuff.
Tucker Carlson the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to listen to this professional analyst, and all of me is like, why is Tucker Carlson in the bathroom? And I'm like, bro, what is going on, bro?
Oh man.
Bro, you got to record those. I mean, you go live and you're just going to be reading the chat the whole time.
No, I did
Like-
record it, but yeah, I tried, but I have to read the chat, but it's like I can't react to the chat.
Okay, for real, I keep seeing this. I heard you say Metallica. Are you aware of how to say that band's name?
Yes. That was a troll,
Okay.
Tanner.
Okay, because
That was
bro,
a good troll too, because I
I didn't
kept it
even
going.
catch that.
I kept it going for. No, I saw Farzad in the chat, and I knew it would piss him off because he's a Metallica fan. And I was like, "Yeah, guys, Farzad's amazing. Got the guitar." And then I was like, "Oh yeah, guys, I remember this like music video. He did a rendition of this Metallica song." And as soon as I said it, I just had to stop smiling because I knew people would be like, "What?" And we kept going for a couple minutes, and then I was like, "Guys, I know what it is. It's Metallica."
that's crazy.
But I did think Hotel California came from Aerosmith.
I mean, that's not as bad.
Yeah.
Metallica, I was like, man, you've never heard that name once?
Metallic is pretty good.
Bro's gaslighting us. He wasn't trolling. Maybe I wasn't trolling. Maybe I wasn't.
Mark Zuckerberg does approve of that pronunciation though. So
Yes, exactly. By the way, there's ads in Threads now. I was on Threads last night. I saw some ads. I was like, oh, they're monetizing it. They're making money on it now.
I bought a new stock yesterday. Or sorry, it was today. It's just late. Do you guys see what I bought?
I didn't
Shark
watch your
Tank.
video, but I saw the name. It's D-Local, right?
oh, that's right.
Yep.
So,
we'll see how that works out.
But like, how heavy? Like, you like really bought it, or you just a little starter position, or?
Starter position. We'll build into it, but it's a invest then investigate. So I just took a quick little look. Get your timelines right. Jesus. You guys are too funny. Yeah, they're growing really fast, and I think that they have a bright future. And yeah, we'll see. Right now, it's a trade. I got a lot more DD to do.
Okay, there you go. Thank you everybody for being here. We'll be back next Monday, and we'll keep it going from there. But overall, it was a really successful event for Hood. I thought it was very fun. It's really great to see everybody. I am tired. Are you guys tired? Like all the
Yes.
traveling? Like I'm exhausted, bro. Genuinely.
You guys went longer than I did. I feel restored now.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go ahead.
If you have a quick second, somebody asked about this, and I see two Robinhood logos behind you as well. They said you took Hood down from your Twitter portfolio description, and I was like, I've been with Amit this whole time. He's not less bullish on Robinhood. So
No, Hood was never in there.
okay, yeah, I was like, I don't think anything's changed from his perspective on Robinhood. So
I think at the beginning of the episode, he said he bought more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought Vlad's shares that he dumped on me today.
you're so bearish, you keep buying.
So bears keep buying. All right, folks. Thank you all for being here. These nicknames are going to be great, dude. This is going to be this is going to be amazing. Whatever timeline you are watching us on, we deeply appreciate it. And we'll be back next week.
Am I the one lagging? I see a ton of lag here.
Yes, you're late.
Yeah, you're
Jeez.
late as always. Sorry, Tanner.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys next Monday. I'll see you guys tomorrow in the market open. Bye, everybody.